Blue side again. I thought they were pretty strong words, and I'm very interested to see what that means. How does Yamato, convert that into a pick and ban strategy that favors him? So far, Wunderwear's lost his Nautilus, so there's already a hit to Splyce's performance ability.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much you can figure out from one game of blue side, if I'm being honest, from the Unicorns. I mean, Yamato obviously is very confident, but I don't, unless they ban the Alistar here and they bait Unicorns into picking the Alistar, I don't really think there are too many bad things that can happen with a first pick Alistar. If you're the Unicorns, it's like, oh, cool, okay, they gave us one of our main support picks here.
All right, what else is available?
Cog is up.
Kalista, Cogmore,
Lucian.
Lucian is available, and with Cogmore taken off the table, you have to imagine giving Steelback a champion like Kalista 2-0 at the minute. 14, 1, and 7 is his KDA.
And that's interesting, because this is the inverse of yesterday. Unicorns took the Alistar here and now give it away against Splyce. Yesterday it was the Kalista that went across. I wonder whether that is intended from the Unicorns or whether that's the mind games here from the likes of Yamato. Getting into Sheepy's head and saying, I know what you're going to do, so we'll see if you do it again.
So Sencux has played Corki, as has Kobbe in the past. And UOL, they are going to simplify it. Most likely that jungle Gragas and top lane Rammus. So it is what we were talking about, but not from the team we're expecting.
That's really weird that you'd lock a Rammus this early. Corki is a predominantly magic damage threat here. There are other tank options available for Unicorns. I'm assuming they just didn't want to pick... I mean, they could have picked support there and not given away their solo laner.
Hey, maybe it's support Rammus. Fate's call into taunt. I'm a believer. No, I'm being shot down. All right, I'll take it.
Well, you're not being...
No.
I don't think it's going to be the case, but...
No.
The more I'm thinking,
don't entertain the idea. Do not entertain the idea.
I just find it really weird that you'd pick the Rammus this early. It's not that strong a pick that you can play it into everything. I guess the majority of top laners that are available are AD-based or tanks. So it's very difficult to actually provide a magic damage threat from that.
Well, with Nautilus taken away,
yeah,
it is potentially a denial option to Wunderwear. I mean, Tahm Kench is still there. It's not something we've seen a lot, but with Fiora locked in, I'll end that train of thought because Wunderwear will be getting onto a split push champion. He's also undefeated on Fiora, 2-0 currently.
He is, but I mean, so this is the discussion, right? Is the amount of resources that go to Wunderwear when it comes to his gold income throughout the game and later into the game specifically. To transition that into a lead and a win on a carry is much more complicated. It's reliant on the ability to establish vision control, on split pushing, on good team play around your solo laner. Whereas a tank, somebody can just get into the mix, like a Nautilus, like a Tahm Kench, we see in the Malphite as well. Just get in there, get in the mix, and you're just naturally tanky from the items that you've accrued. And it's such a more simple way of actually playing it.
Simple is the name of the game here for Fox. Viktor, wave clear, AoE Death Ray bot. It is his most played champion at 6 games out of the 14 in the split. I quite like the options that UOL have. I feel there's a good mixture of pick potential and engage. Splyce, they've got the option for pick with the Fiora Elise combo. That is terrifying. And split push threat, which, you know, I don't know if Rammus, how long he can hold Fiora at bay, or at what point he takes over. Somewhat of a natural counter with his armor build and natural itemization. Splyce round out their comp, maybe going deeper into that pick mentality with an Ahri mid lane.
Yeah, they've got the Ahri set up for Sencux. He's a champion that we know he's played in the LCS and in Challenger. It is actually, I was going to say his most played, but Ahri, Lissandra, and LeBlanc all sit 2 games apiece, and Lulu for Sencux. So we know he's got the chops on it. Can he get past Fox Viktor? It's another wave clear mid laner for Fox, is able to just sit there, hold the game for himself. Steelback is the one that they're really looking at for this game. Now we've got to look at the impact of this Rammus. Can he get it to go from lane to lane fast enough? Can he provide the taunts in situations where he needs them in fights? Maybe it's on the Fiora as she's trying to dive into the backline. Maybe you catch her on the way through.
Maybe. Gonna be pressure on Unicorns of Love to figure it out. I want to go back to that story that you mentioned, Stress. Invisible members of the Unicorns of Love in terms of the impact and the presence they bring the game. cannot afford to have that if they want to pick up a win here against Splyce. Rammus and Gragas, you know, Lulex is the second time back on stage with UOL. You're about to see the team comps if you guys think it's going to be enough. Hashtag UOL win. Or if you think the young upstarts can actually close the game. They had a good opportunity against OG yesterday, but failed at the final hurdles, really. Hashtag spy win. If you're going to send them on a mission. Such a cool hashtag. I think it's the best hashtag, actually. It just sounds so fun.
Spy win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that you whisper it. Add some drama. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Well.
We're about to jump into game and fun. Unfortunately, we do have a very brief pause as soon as the Rift is loaded up, so you will be sitting with us for just a brief second longer.
So ready.
And we'll get an update on exactly why. But it does give me a brief second. Coming into today, we've hit it multiple times. 3 teams already locked for playoffs.
Yep.
The magical number was 10 wins. If a team had accrued 10 wins, they'd lock themselves one of those top 6 berths. If Unicorns beat Splyce and Elements lose later today, that magic number becomes 9 wins.
Okay.
Because those are the 2 gatekeepers of 6th and potentially 7th, Splyce and Elements. And if both of those results happen, Unicorns will be the 4th team to guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs in the postseason.
So as you can see, it looks like an issue right now for Fox on stage. Very quick pause on the game. So hopefully it means we'll just have to restart the client and get back in. But nevertheless, we're all set up on this game, getting ready to go in. Fox versus Sencux. Sencux really, as a player, hasn't stamped his name in the top echelon of European mid laners, like I think we were expecting to. There was a lot of talk about him, whereas I think Fox has done a lot of work this split to undo some of the passiveness that we saw from him in the summer split from SK. So I think they're at a level where Fox should reliably be able to win this matchup versus Sencux.
Yeah, and I think Fox has actually been performing just at a better level throughout the majority of the games.
Yeah.
Whereas Sencux has had very high performances from time to time, but they've been quite few and far between, really. And, you know, you sort of had the pleasure of casting Sencux and the rest of the squad last year, as with G2. Do you think it's fair to say that maybe there was more expectation on Sencux than Perkz coming into the LCS, or do you think Perkz was always the more hyped of the two? Because unfortunately for Sencux, he's, you know, qualified through Challenger in much the same way, but not had the same impact.
That's a really interesting question, actually. I think the level for Sencux by the looks of Challenger last year was that he was consistently higher than Perkz, but the problem was when Perkz was carrying a game, you knew it. Like, Perkz was just destroying everybody as soon as he got a lead. But I think it's kind of a testament to the way that Perkz kind of flew under the radar, whereas Sencux, everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
Everybody. It was like, man, there's this 16-year-old Danish kid that couldn't play in the spring playoffs. This is finally his time to get in. Is this going to be it? Well, we'll have to see.
We will see. Ladies and gentlemen, the pause has been resolved. The crowd here in Berlin are stamping their feet and clapping their hands as the Unicorns of Love are taking on Splyce. And we have another Rammus. We have another Rammus in the game. I want to see what impact Vizicsacsi can have. Just how many targets he can find. I'm very, very excited to see the interactions with Fiora. With Fiora's passive, popping those vitals. And there's the cheeky play here from Splyce.
Sounded like the crowd were enthusiastic to see TSM at IEM next week. You're a week early. It's not quite now, but I'm excited to see that top lane as well. But I don't think we're going to get it, Trevor, because the Unicorns of Love are locking their 2v2 or 2 duo lane top, is what I was trying to say there, against the Rammus, who obviously is melee range, doesn't really do too well in that situation. So if the Rammus goes up top before, it's actually Splyce that are doing this, my apologies. If Splyce show before its time, Chachi could be in a little bit of trouble. So this is a bit of a play out of the Unicorns book that Splyce have stolen.
Thunderlords are go, 4 of them, across the board. As Trashy and Wunderwear go to clear out their jungle. And the lane swap has been initiated. So Kobbe and Nisbeth will effectively dodge Steelback through. And I think that's probably for the best. There's a lot of frustration that you don't want to deal back. deal with when Steelback and Hilly are in your lane.
It's 2016. Did you really just drop a Thunderbirds reference?
Listen, if you're talking about rugby and losing football viewers, then I'm going to throw one of the golden oldies in.
Oh, I'm pretty sure not a lot of people that will even understand that reference from you, Trevor, but it's okay.
I do think I'm allowed to use the age that I have accrued to my advantage. I want to watch the lane swap happen, because Stress, it's not the initial moves in the lane swap that interest me, it's how they handle the next ones. And after all of the hype of Sencux v Fox, I think that's a fairly even trade. Both come away at half hit points. Both Dorans, both got cookies. And Fox's Viktor with Flash and Cleanse. Going into Sencux is Flash Ignite.
So nothing out of the ordinary right now in this game. To be honest, I think when you look down the line, phase 1 of a lane swap is so rarely completely messed up by our teams. There's very few teams that actually manage to screw that up. So it tends to be this early phase is very standard. You don't get any real adaptation. We've seen a couple of teams try and do different things, but no real differences. And I mean, that is a good thing in some sense. It means that the addition of like support staff and coaches has normalized the early game, but it does lead to a slower, less action-packed game.
Well, you know, you contrast it to Worlds last year when multiple versions of the lane swap was coming in.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember a lot of the guys on the broadcast team just talking about, you know, the European lane swap, the Korean lane swap, the Chinese lane swap, or lack thereof maybe. And the theoretical best one ends up coming on top until somebody finds a counter to it. And for now, the gold that you get from these outer turrets, the safety of getting that first item spike, is just so, so valuable. But the biggest, most interesting thing is like what happens next now. So looks like gold shared by Unicorns, or Wunderwear will be gifted the entirety as Splyce marginally ahead of the play. They've recalled, they've gone to lane, and they're going to push down, push towards this bottom outer turret.
And that's all because of the way that they were the ones orchestrating this swap. So knowing that they are going to be the first in the lane with no real competition ahead of them, they were like, well, we can set this up. It's only a very minor difference between the two. And for me, when I look at what Trashy has done with this lineup since coming into the lineup, so they obviously swapped their jungler over. It was obvious before. Now it's Trashy for the LCS split.
That was his nickname, for those that didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't mean to make that bad joke. I just kind of said it and realized I had to backtrack on myself. I don't feel like in every game Trashy has been an upgrade to obvious. I feel like Trashy has also kind of had the same situation where some games he's just very quiet. Same with Kobbe. I feel like the two of them have had games where you just haven't really shown up. That doesn't mean they can't improve from that. We have seen some improvements from Splyce. We're now seeing Trashy on the Elise, looking for a bit of pick potential with Sencux here, but a win here would be good for Trashy specifically. It is his birthday today. So we'll see whether he can get this first gank off.
Is going to try. At least delivers a present to Fox's waiting hands. And for Splyce, you know, if they pick up a win here, with Unicorns dropping a game yesterday, they legitimately keep some playoff hopes alive. I know that is ever the optimist speaking, but whenever I talk about like specifically Splyce and Elements, these are two teams who are going to be contesting for that 6th and 7th position, maybe as high as 5th, depending on how some of the other squads perform. If Origin, Fnatic, for example, lose some games, there is very realistic chances of that happening.
But then to put it in perspective, if it goes the other way, there's no automatic demotion or relegation out of the league in 10, but what it does mean is the way the playoffs are going to work for the bottom side in the promotion tournament. The better spot you have from LCS, the fewer games you have to play, because if you're in 10th, you have to play in a double elimination setup. Whereas for here, it is important to get higher up the standings.
And you get to see your opponents play a little bit, potentially, depending how that plays out. But for now, it is all about trying to pick up this win. Splyce 4 and 9 versus Unicorns of Love 8 and 5. Outer turrets down, both top and bottom. The recalls have come in. Vamp Scepter for Steelback, as well as Double Daggers, and Unicorns of Love got the wards to match their team jerseys. Whereas Splyce, Phage there for Kobbe, Blasting Wand for Sencux. And Splyce are now potentially at risk of getting ganked in this middle lane.
They're backing away, though. Hylissang and Lulex were looking to come mid. Can't really get there. There was a ward, pink ward, they moved over. Sencux moves up and out of the lane, comes back in now. Unicorns being very patient in this game. 7 minutes with no real interaction between the teams.
All right, Stress, get out your crystal ball.
Okay.
And tell me, what do you think these teams should do if you were to look into the future?
How far in the future? Because I'm going to start with win the game.
I'm leaving it that way, right? Like,
okay.
Open-ended. So
that's a very open question.
I know. Okay. Swing and take it where you want it.
There's a lot of options available here, but for Splyce, they obviously are going to be looking to pair the Elise and the Ahri together. They've already tried it once. I think trying to make that play is a smart option on Fox in the next couple of minutes while his flash is still down. That's a very short-term goal they could be looking for. Problem is, it's difficult to get there and get on top of him without the knowledge of the gank coming mid. I mean, look at the amount of ward control that is around this middle lane. Teleport's coming out from Vizicsacsi to assist on the push here, but
definitely want this tower. Death Sentence finds nobody, and Lulex has got access to the explosive cast. Vizicsacsi is threatening the Powerball knockback, and Wunderwear, you may be sticking around too long. No, he's going to dash away safely, and Unicorns use TP, and they break open the inner turrets.
That's such a weird TP, but it actually ends up paying off for Vizicsacsi. Kobbe recalled from the bottom lane rather than finishing off the push on the tower. Chachi didn't actually fight anybody when he comes in, so it just helps them push down the tower. And Unicorns get a fairly uncontested tower that they shouldn't be getting right now. 8 minutes on in the game, they get that bottom inner tower, and Splyce don't answer with anything. All they're going to get from it is a blue buff.
All right, blue buff and maybe some vision. A couple of pink wards for Wunderwear and Trashy, and a good collection as Kobbe's got access to the package already. Sheen and Phage. Chachi. Defensive ball curls up and waddles forward, but Kobbe's smart enough not to trade. Not yet, anyway. But as you mentioned in Picks and Bans, Stress, the magic damage from Sencux, Thresh, from Kobbe, it's not the greatest into Rammus, but we've seen Rammus work into double or triple AP comps. I actually think he picked up a win, if not yesterday, last Friday.
Yeah, we've seen a fair amount of Rammus recently, not only in Europe. Yeah. I think it originated in LPL, LCK. Both regions have been playing a little bit of it. Weirdly, though, something I noticed a little bit more on LPL than other regions, they've been reluctant to pick up the likes of a ZZ portal, which is kind of weird. They're the only region that seem to be doing it, so I expect Vizicsacsi to pick one up the later this game goes.
Doesn't help you in team fights.
Well, that is, I guess, one reason for it.
I know it is one of those like really outdated comments, but it is something that is still somewhat true. But regardless.
Used to be true for the Unicorns as well.
Oh, yes.
Not so much anymore.
Chaos style used to be a thing.
I'm glad that's gone. Take it away. It's gone. I don't want it to come back. We're past it. Unicorns now, they're invisible.
Okay. They're like big chunk.
Whoa.
Kobbe gets a Sheen proc and Phage Auto onto Steelback with the Thunderlords. Clears out the wave. Stress, look at all the vision UOL have set up in the top half of the jungle against Splyce. They are making Splyce dance to their beats.
And Splyce aren't fighting it either, is the problem. Now Sencux has to back away mid lane. He's got good timing on it, knows that they could be there, so it goes down and out. So it's a good read with the vision that they have, but Splyce aren't contesting the vision control that is being put down by the Unicorns. And Unicorns, honestly, are running into fairly little actual fight here. I do wonder how Splyce will actually look to turn this around.
Well, Unicorns get a tower and no fight. I don't think they'll care.
No. Very clean.
Echo's damage from Lulex just bounces across some of those spiderlings. They take a small chunk from that inner turret, but UOL is one of the squads currently in the top 6. Still maintaining their lead, still maintaining control. Despite giving up a loss to a bottom 4 team, it was to Roccat, the only team that has picked up 2 wins, actually. There's teams above them. It was Vitality all the way back in week 1. But then again, UOL shaded their former selves.
Yeah, they, well, right now, it's pretty much just all shade. There's nothing going on in this game. Everything's taking place in the shadows when you look at the pace of the game. This is one of the slowest paced games I think we've actually had. In general, we've had one mid gank.
1950 something.
Right,
first blood timer.
I guess, but we've had
I believe.
A mid gank that caused a flash, and we had a TP bot lane to get a turret.
But look at the bright side, right? UOL are forcing Splyce to do something, but there's no real reaction that they can make. We've not touched on it yet at all, but it's 76 CS on Wunderwear to 39 CS on Chachi. Charm will find Fox for a big hit. So there's a very big CS advantage that is equated only to 400 gold, thanks to the fact that there is that tower extra.
And some of that lead has been accrued by the fact that the TP out of the lane by Chachi meant he missed, I think it was a cannon wave and a couple more minions coming in. So he did kind of widen the gap himself to trade it for a turret. Also, the fact that, I guess, Rammus is fairly tanky naturally once he pops that W as well. So Chachi is not too worried about it. He is down on levels, though, and that is could become the key factor here. Kobbe is actually level 8, as is Steelback. So the AD carries have been higher level than the solo laners right now when you look at the top lane. Top lane push is coming on.
Let's take a look. Barrel roll to clear the wave. Chachi's held on to the Tremors because it's not available. Cooldown was used a little bit earlier. Sencux also holding on to Rush. I didn't see if he initiated with it, but Ignite was used and cleansed away by Fox.
He used the first charge. It's the cooldown of the second and third charges does remain active until the third charge has been used or expires. So.
And Sencux did not tower dive with it, despite getting the cleanse, despite the risk. Didn't want to maybe dive deeper than he needed to.
Hylissang was roaming up from bottom side as well, so if you dive too hard, it can become problematic there if Sencux doesn't get out. For the Unicorns, historically having Hylissang on Thresh has been a very good strength. He was always good at roaming, always good at setting up plays on this champion. And it seemed to be one that has dropped off somewhat for him in recent times. It's still one of his most played, but people aren't banning it so much because you have to focus other things in the pick and ban. So Hylissang has been getting a lot more freedom in the draft recently.
Yeah.
Excited to see what he can do with it.
Well, needs to find a target. That time, swing and a miss from the death sentence. UOL crawling ahead ever so slowly. 1,000 gold. The control that they afforded with the pressure in the jungle means they can get some deep vision down. Just using off those trinkets, clearing out some pink wards. They usher a minion wave towards the top inner turret. And the siege is on. I mean, wave clear from Fox, get Chachi, defensive ball curl.
Oh, there's a push on the tower. There is a ward behind the Unicorns here. Wow, Chachi takes so much damage.
He's got armor and he's being chunked down by all of the magic of Kobbe and Sencux. We actually have to create a new word for Corki, by the way, because he's not an AD carry.
Well,
like
he's a marksman.
He's a marksman. Okay. There is a word.
Sorry, there is a word.
No, you're 100% right.
I mean, Mordekaiser counts too.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's a legacy term.
Yeah.
Because he plays in the role of marksman, but he is a mixed carry. Is that a thing? Is that like, how do you...
I guess you'd say hybrid carry.
Hybrid carry. Hybrid's a better word.
Normally you'd attribute hybrid damage to like Katarina, Akali, these champions that can scale off both, which is true. It's just Corki builds AD, scales off, and that AD is like transitioned into magic damage. So it's a bit of a weird one. So you could call him hybrid, I guess, but...
There's been a few LCS players that have had salty tweets about calling Corki an AD carry.
The nomenclature of champions.
Come on, Chachi, farm that wave with Tremors. I'm a believer.
Oh,
I love it. It's one of my favorite spells. Defensive ball call.
The cow on the armadillo.
That was a great interrupt. Chachi power balls and prevents the pulverized headbutt combo. Barrel from Lulex again to try clear the wave. Explosive cask is then used to split Splyce up. The tower is taken and Splyce, they force their way into an even tower situation.
And this is two teams that do not want to fight each other. All they want to do is take towers, so Unicorns go, okay, fair game, flash into the cocoon.
Yeah, but you're standing right into the gravity field. There was no follow-up from the rest of Splyce. Fox does flash to save his life, and thanks to Lulex using the cast earlier,
coming down the river.
There is no initiation. Ooh. The flame misses, and that's
a rough
something we're used to seeing with Hilly. But Splyce managed to make it away, so still even on gold. The outer turret is available. Let's look for a target to get caught out. Barrel roll forward. Wonder where he's gone forward. Wow.
Didn't ult. Nisbeth didn't get his ult off.
Nope, he did not. I was so busy watching Wunderwear, I didn't even see Nisbeth get turned into steak.
Nisbeth, whether he was too low and just didn't feel like the ult would save him, because I mean, it's all well and good popping it, but if you're on 10 health, then that 10 health is getting taken off you very quickly, but that was weird. Tower goes down.
First blood to UOL, opens up the tower, and they extend their lead. So, advantage. Like, the way this game started is with UOL pushing the lanes, with UOL getting that sort of minor tempo advantage and cheekily knocking towers over one by one.
I've just realized, Trevor, something we're going to have to shed a tear over. This could be one of the last European games where we could see a Titanic Hydra, Ravenous Hydra change. Because 6.4 no longer can you change that over for free. This was the fight again. Yeah, okay, Nisbeth, when the hook comes through, he's far too low to do anything about in that situation. Chaos. So, hey, look, I've got to get excited over something in this game, Trev. Not a lot has happened.
My eyes were so focused on Wunderwear, I couldn't even see Nisbeth get caught. Drop. So Splyce down a kill. All outer turrets down. I still am very impressed with the wards that UOL have got inside Splyce's jungle. I'd like to see it lead to a few more objectives or kills. There's a pink ward that I believe has been sitting just behind that red buff for a very long period of time. Whether it's refreshed or just simply staying alive is the question I have for my observers. Maybe not for the team. It's not super important.
You like the phrase. You like the phrase "staying alive" this week, don't you?
I know. I don't know why.
You nearly burst out in song earlier. Yeah. You did like a remix version. For those of you that don't know,
oh, failed that one. Nisbeth did not combo, but the body slam finds Kobbe. There's a disengaged barrel that actually helps Trashy get away, and the teleport from Chachi, as well as Fate's Call, is used. All of Unicorns are grouped and stacked. They've used a lot of their abilities. Charm will connect on Hilly, but it just buys time. Tremors and defensive ball curl just to take down the tower. Nisbeth is interrupted once again. Will get stunned by the gravity field, and there is no will strong enough to survive against 5 members of the Unicorns.
Splyce still running to the hills for this one, but do not underestimate the potential of Unicorns to push. Not only have they got the likes of the Kalista, the ability to just hit the tower a lot, keep in mind Tremors is one of the very few abilities that works on towers as well. Will deal that damage in the AoE to any structures that are there as well. One of the overlooked things. Not the reason you pick Rammus, but just a nice positive that comes from it.
It is a bonus.
Yeah. Oh, and he farms so quickly. Look at the returning damage.
Clawed up a lot of CS that he was missing, in fact. Still behind Wunderwear, but is effectively ahead in goals, thanks to an assist, thanks to the towers. First Dragon picked up in about 20 minutes for Splyce. And Unicorns, I think, are going to be relatively happy. It's slow, it's safe, it's steady, but the objectives are falling. And Splyce are falling further and further behind. It's 4,000 gold. That surprised me when I looked at that value, thanks to the last kill in tower.
That lead has slowly,
very
slow, patient increase. Only 2 kills on the board as we're about to hit 20 minutes. And you know, for the Unicorns, they're at the top of the standings. I don't know whether I'd be overly happy with such a slow-paced game.
Yeah.
Just from the way that, we've seen so much disparity between the top and the bottom teams that some top teams have just crushed others. The problem is today, in the current meta, we've seen H2K taken to 40 minutes against Giants.
Good flash.
Hilly gets himself out. Is the same going to happen here?
I want to play some devil's advocate.
Okay.
Because I think it's fair. When you look at top of the table versus bottom of the table, there's all these expectations. They should just crush and they should be so far ahead and yada yada. But what if the game plan was slow and steady? What if the call was safe?
That is
secure.
fair.
Then, in actual fact, UOL are doing exactly what they intended. Now, this is something we can only find out by talking to Sheepy, by talking to the players. Trashy's going to have a lot to talk about because he's going to get taken out. Over-eager, no real support, and the vision was shallow, so punished for it.
But you go back to the comments from Yamato earlier. This is your second blue side game. I have you figured out. We know how to play against the Unicorns on their second blue side game on a week. We've got this. I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing the, well, I guess, you know, the proof is normally in the pudding. Seems like somebody didn't finish their main because they're not getting dessert right now, as Splyce not really showing up. They're not really doing anything in this game.
Yeah. And that is arguably maybe because UOL have been putting them on the back foot. But they've got this very pick-oriented style comp. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but they've got the ability to find picks. Elise plus Fiora, Elise plus Ahri, but all of that power, especially in the early game where it's maybe the most apparent, was denied by the lane swap. And then UOL take that extra step and teleport for an inner turret. Quite unconventional. But it gives them the lead, right? So kudos to UOL for that one. And again, every time I look down, there are pink wards in the inventory of UOL. The pink ward that was behind the red buff of Splyce, it was killed. It did not track exactly where, but more importantly, the jungle is still littered with vision.
Splyce do have a fair amount of vision control themselves. You can see, look, there's blue buff ward, then the pink ward. I think Lulex is about to clear it out. Nope. Not attack moving. I mean, I think Lulex should be about to clear it out. Yeah. Which is probably what I should say. Just attack move through that bush. No reason not to. That's just for anybody in solo queue that is like, well, you know, I can't be bothered to check the bush. Just attack move, pass through
3 to 5 seconds. So valuable if you take it out. QSS picked up here for Steelback. That will thwart the Grand Challenge, the Charm, the Cocoon. I feel like QSS into Fiora, something we don't see like super often, but it is very, very useful in team fights.
It was the undoing yesterday of them against
Splyce.
Origin. Yeah, Splyce played against Origin. Double QSS came out, or the QSS came out, and boom. Game so difficult to win in that situation. Not quite as definitive in this setup for the Unicorns. Unicorns are ahead anyway. They are very slowly increasing their lead right now, but Unicorns are looking for the top side play now, maybe looking for that top inner. They've got the vision set up for it. Trashy has his teleport. We're past 20 minutes, so home guard plays are a thing.
Yep, and of course with the vision that they've had around the red buff of Splyce, and the fact that they have a tank Rammus and a Kalista AD carry, Baron can go down very quickly and it can be secured relatively safely. Smite plus Rend. So for Unicorns, it may just be a matter of time until they start the Baron dance and the Baron bait.
That waddle always gets me from Rammus. Short, tiny legs, tiny little feet. All of the pros that I'm seeing playing are all using this Rammus skin. Nobody is playing full metal Rammus, though. That's because it actually creates like the axle grinding sound as you roll towards.
We saw one.
Maybe.
We saw one.
I feel like it has so much more impending doom. It sounds like a chainsaw revving up, maybe.
Every action series ever has the damsel in distress tied to a table that leads to a chainsaw or a guillotine that is coming down or something like that, and that's the sound effect.
That is the sound. That's what
I was getting to. It's a very long-winded way of getting there.
I was wondering where we're going.
Full Metal Rammus reminds me of Shredder. Since we're going like with age, throw that one out.
It reminds me of Robot Wars, if I'm being honest. Like as if somebody created
back.
Well,
it is a Kickstarter to try to get that back. Right, here's the fight that we talked about right at the beginning of the game. Trashy actually doesn't want it. Grand Challenge comes down, no QSS to get rid of it, and Trashy will come to help out, so even if Trashy could have won, Trashy will finish this off. Kill secured by... Oh! You flashed. What's this for?
The Q? Where's the Q?
Baron? Look at the rest of the team.
Yeah, but
look at the minimap.
There's the Q.
Trashy's taking him on a run. Teleport is available. The body slam flash! That was very well played by Lulex. Baron was not actually started. There's a kill for Sencux and it's traded for a suicide!
Oh, the length of the lane was long enough. In come the rest of the Unicorns catching out Sencux. And man, Trashy, great flash, kept him alive.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of Berlin. When we hear a massive crowd erupt for a Powerball execute, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of guys in the crowd with Rammus hats. This is for you.
It may have not been the $1 billion jackpot for Vizicsacsi, but that one he certainly had the number of Splyce to get out of that situation.
He did indeed. Tower number 6 falls, only inhibitors remaining. Chaos Storm is down, Death Sentence finds Trashy and pulls him back in, but Fox is caught by the headbutt pole of Nisbeth. It finds a target this time. A flash forward as Fox is trying to siphon power, and another Death Sentence. Kobbe flashes over the wall. Here comes Trashy. There's earthquakes aplenty as the tremors and the pulverize go down, but it's Splyce that lose 2.
Splyce lose 2 off the Unicorns. coming in aggressive once again, and Splyce just seemed to be out of position, not respecting the vision control that the Unicorns already have in this game, and they're just trying to contest when they don't really have the options available to them. The same thing's happening again here. Look at Wunderwear, Nisbeth, Sencux all roaming down. Chachi's taunted, it just brings him closer.
That was a great job.
Good hold on the taunt.
Yeah, after a pass ends, then Wunderwear gets the puncturing taunt to the face. Fate's Call knocks Nisbeth up in the air, and a body slam sends him back to base. Steelback is on a killing spree. Sheepy down in the corner of your screen. He's pretty happy with that performance, I can tell. And yes, we'll have to ask the question. Slow and steady wins the race, boys.
Not working around.
Not anymore. Now let's be fair. In the last 10 minutes, 5 additional kills, 2 additional towers. The threat of Baron now was the tipping point where Splyce may not be able to come back from. They will take a reply turret.
Yeah, they have one in the mid lane just because of the way that Unicorns had to back themselves away. Couldn't really afford to take another fight on the health they were in. So it means Splyce do manage to strangle back a little bit in this game for themselves, but certainly the Unicorns still in full control.
Yeah, they are. Chachi's grabbed himself that QSS. Once again, to deal with all of the threats available. And look at Steelback. Here's the Baron play. Actually, the vision is not the greatest in terms of the jungle, but Hilly's got full vision on the Splyce team. Teleport's available for Wunderwear. Blue Ward comes down. Tremors is used. They're trying to rush the Baron. Unicorns of Love should be able to secure this before Splyce can even arrive.
Yep.
Smite plus Rain, and it's donezo. Hilly's even going to be fighting the rest of Splyce, zoning them away. Nisbeth goes down shortly thereafter, and there's no flash for Lulex to follow on the body slam, despite having the explosive cask. Now, UOL, they have all of your energy. Why is it crying? As Unicorns now push down through the middle lane with Baron buff.
See, this is why I needed Pulse. Pulse would have been all over that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
why is he?
now.
God,
Yeah.
God, Trevor.
I know. Pulse is shaking.
Showing your age.
I've done that multiple times in this past, actually.
Thunderbirds, what are we going with
New
next? Stingray?
thing.
Captain Scarlet?
No, probably Kit.
Kit. Oh, Knight Rider.
There you see. There
Well, we
go.
are
There you
in
go.
Germany.
Exactly,
I mean, if ever
exactly.
there was an idol to be spoken about.
Yeah.
The Hoff himself, but
Right, so we're going way back. This
Yeah.
was
Trashy getting caught. This
Yeah.
was the hook, the seemingly
series
potential
of hooks.
almost beyond range hook onto Trashy to catch him out. And here the Unicorns readjust Lulex in from the side. At this point, you can see, look at where Sencux is. Nowhere near the fight. In come the rest of the Unicorns to clear this one up. Again, it's another example of Unicorns picking a fight where the numbers are in their favor. Chachi has Flash Taunt available onto Sencux. If he was looking for it. Didn't actually want to.
Yeah, the Powerball, Home Guard, TP, Taunt gank worked. Again, look, pink wards aplenty from UOL. They're using the vision well. Minute and a half left on the Baron power play. Plus 2,800 gold over their opponents. That means they're just about 10k up. And with teleport very shortly available for Chachi, you have to feel he's going to push this bottom lane. While the rest of the team is sieging up top.
One of the most painful things I feel like here for Splyce is... I'm remembering correctly, the game against Fnatic. Fnatic got no kills, right?
Yes.
Maybe the opposite happening here.
Yep.
as Unicorns of Love at 8-0, we still got a long way to go. Sencux got blasted apart.
Death sentence from Hilly.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
and Chachi.
taunt. Flash over the wall. Flash taunt. They predicted
Taunt
into
to
the
taunt.
play as well. And the man that bursts Sencux down, Fox, is the one that secures the kill. 4-0-2. So about those invisible players we talked about, less invisible against Splyce.
That's because Splyce are invisible in this game.
Yeah.
They're really not actually pushing anything against the Unicorns. You know, we've heard that Splyce, you know, in practice it's going so well, everything's been better. I'm not seeing. And they have had freedom in this game to make plays. Trashy's gone.
Yeah, he gets caught out. Hylissang finds a death sentence when it counts. After missing just a couple in the mid game, he strung them back to back to back.
Lulex with his 90% kill participation is 3 levels up on Trashy in this jungle matchup. Lulex is so far ahead.
Yeah, plus 50 CS, plus 9 assists. Minion wave pushing its way in.
Disrespect of just running through the base.
There's no minions there. We're about to time out. This was the pushing that Unicorn set up about 2 minutes ago. Baron will just time, plus 5,100 gold in the power play. That was fantastic. They've got an inhibitor. They've got another one exposed. And Wunderwear is looking for a target to challenge, but it simply will not be grand enough. Powerball knocks Nisbeth up. Tremors goes down. USS is a vehicle from Chachi. Nisbeth and Wunderwear are on the back line, running away with their lives. Kobbe's already forced to heal. He's got flash, but won't be needed. There is a kill onto Fox, but he trades his life for Sencux, and Steelback picks up the 4th of the game.
It's going to be Inhibitor right now with a teleport coming through from Vizicsacsi.
The taunt onto Kobbe. He tried to flash away, but it was simply not quick enough. Chachi is now stuck in the middle of the team. Steelback's hopping backwards with that passive. QSS comes out.
He's still alive.
Doesn't get the kill, and Steelback stays alive. Still unkilled, still undefeated, as finally they take down Wunderwear. Hylissang gave his life for that defense, but there's 2 inhibitors down, and it's the 2 best runs that you want.
At that point, what was that? Unicorn, I didn't get what you said there.
I just got confused by the camera cut, and I stalled.
It's okay. I was like, I'm going to follow on from whatever Trevor says. And not like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. We're in a situation where even Splyce managed to react with something there from Unicorns overstaying in the top lane. They take out the turret, they take the inhibitor, but at the cost of 3 kills is fine for this Unicorns lineup. They'll be happy taking that inhibitor. And honestly, it seems academic at this point to close out the game. So this was the push on to the turret. Sencux caught early means he can't dive on Fox until Fox steps forward in this fight. Good damage onto Chachi, and Chachi peels back. As soon as that Grand Challenge, not even one of the vitals was procced here. He recalls and teleports back in. At this point, Sencux thought he maybe had the damage onto Fox there. He blew up Fox, but it's Steelback that's really the difficult person to take down here. In comes the teleport. There's the big knockback, and from Steelback here, he gets the inhibitor. Kites maybe a little too far forward after Kobbe, and Nisbeth comes to interrupt. And again, this is Unicorns playing it a bit scrappy. Not really too much more to offer from them here, but it's all on Steelback with the outplay here.
He does so exquisitely. Even Ren's just before the riposte started. Kirill Scimitar to stay alive. Supers finding their way into the base of Splyce, and as if the numbers, Unicorns now grouped up in this middle lane. The threat of a Powerball is just so great. Flash will be available fairly soon if they want to, and Death Sentence connects onto Wunderwear. Riposte will keep himself alive for a little while. Nisbeth knocks up Fox and Hilly. They're deciding to engage. Splicer down 10k, and with Wunderwear on the Death Sentence, that might be his death. It is! The Chaos Storm takes him out. Trashy goes low, but the focus will be the tower. Tremors is ticking away. Chachi Powerball, Hylissang finds Sencux, and Fate's Call knocks him up into the air. A retreat from Splyce as the Unicorns of Love, slow to start, but so strong to finish. They bounce back, take down the Nexus, and Hilly is hitting everything. Oh, they're not done yet.
They want more kills, Trevor. Another one.
Finally, Unicorns of Love take down Splyce.